The guiding principle of the 3-octave C melodic minor scale is that unlike many melodic scale fingerings you'll encounter, this one has the left hand shifting to the same positions whether it's the ascending or descending form. Also, because it doesn't use open strings, it can be transposed. I'm going to quickly play through the C melodic minor scale and stop on some passages and offer some practice tips. From the beginning, the first tetrachord is on the A string, 1-4-1-4. And then in the upper tetrachord of the first octave, we have our first instance where we're in the same position for both the ascending and descending form. On the ascending form, we play 1-4-2-4. And on the descending form, the B, which was played on 4, is going to be a B flat on 1. And La, the A, which was played on 4, is going to be lay instead played on 2. And so you're going to want to practice both versions of the upper tetrachord. And you can practice it by doing scale fragments of each. Changing mode. And you can also play different patterns containing those notes, but that's the simplest way to get it. The next thing you'll want to practice in this scale is playing from Do, Re, Mi, and Fa in the second octave, in which we play 4 on the D, we shift back to the D, and then we play a pivot fingering for the D, the E flat, and the F. And when you're playing this pivot, you're going to want to make sure that you don't have your hand position extended as if you were playing like more of an electric bass type hand shape, but you're actually going between the C and between the 2 on E flat and the 4 on F. You're actually going to move your hand while keeping your thumb in the same place on the neck. So it'll look like this. And from the front, rather than this. Intentionally playing it kind of out of tune to show how it generally sounds when you try to play it that way. So that pivot is going to be something you can practice just by doing some, maybe some quick scale fragments in that area. The next thing you're going to want to think about is the same shift that we had in the C major scale, and that is between the F and the G from 4 to thumb. And you can check out the C major practice tips for that. The upper tetrachord of the second octave will appear familiar to us in its ascending form because it's the same hand shape we encountered in the C major scale. That is thumb 1, 2, 3 on So, La, Ti, Do. Now, while the thumb and the third finger are going to stay in place for its descending form, we're going to have to alter the spacing to reflect the lowered 6 and scale degrees on its descending form. We'll move from what I call a major thumb position hand shape to a Frisian thumb position hand shape, named because those are the first 4 notes you'd encounter in a major and a Frisian scale. So, the Frisian mode. You can use all the practice techniques we talked about in the C major scale for working on this thumb position hand shape, but you're going to have to play 2 different versions, one for its ascending form and the other for its descending form. I'll play a couple of them now. This hand shape is that because this whole step between 2 and 3 is so challenging to play without making any adjustments, it's okay to do a little bit of rocking to make to make those notes feel more comfortable. The shift from C to D you also have in the major scale, and we talked about practicing it there. But the hand position once you get to the D is different in minor. The next shift is perhaps the hardest shift in the scale, from third finger F to thumb on G. You can practice this using the simple shift or the simpler shift exercise as illustrated in the C major practice video. The upper tetrachord of the third octave is exactly the same as the upper tetrachord of the second octave, except that it's an octave higher. All the same practice techniques you used for the upper tetrachord of the second octave, you can use